of both football and basketball, the problem was manifest in the most prestigious events. Take the NCAA basketball final between UCLA and Louisville. UCLA had a Cinderella team, 4 freshmen, and an All-American, Kiki Vandeweghe. They proved without a doubt, if it still needed proving, that gifted freshman athletes can compete on the varsity level. But Dr. Duncan style, the great Darrell Griffith led Louisville to its first national championship. Griffith matured into a leader in his senior year. Adding that missing element to his talent at putting the ball in the hoop made him the best player in the country. Yet at the very time responsible college educators and coaches were beginning to question the use of freshmen on varsity teams, because for so many of them the social and classroom adjustments are harder than the athletic adjustment, Herschel Walker was starting the greatest freshman season a college athlete ever had. In the Georgia-South Carolina game, he went head-to-head with George Rogers, the Heisman Trophy candidate who, as a senior, eventually did win the Heisman Award. Rogers was terrific, but Walker, a 6'2", 215-pounder with sprinter speed, was better. Walker wound up breaking Tony Dorsett's freshman rushing records and leading Georgia to a 12-0 national championship season. He scored both of their touchdowns against Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl to clinch the championship. Walker is also a 3-6 student, an exception on and off the field. But there is still need to question the system. Should it be designed for the great athlete or the student athlete? When the NCAA convened for its annual convention in Miami, it was thought that strong action would be taken to deal with recent scandals in recruiting and transcript forging. Many coaches supported the ban of freshmen from varsity competition, but they were rejected.
In every single violation this year, it has not been an institution that's set out to cheat. It's been some nut who they hired. Maybe our hiring practices are not right.
I think any thinking person in sport today knows that we're doing a lot of dumb things in intercollegiate athletics. Our rule book has become so complex that it takes a Philadelphia lawyer to understand it.
I think that the institutions ought to be blamed, not the coaches. Obviously the coaches were involved in the abuses, but so much of it went on without even the coaches and the players knowing about it.
I look at it as an institutional problem. Obviously we've hired people in some cases with a lack of integrity.
The coaches themselves are very anxious to do what's right. We had 40 coaches in the College Football Association get together and demanded that we have normal progress. Pushed to have a grade point average of a 1.8 at the end of the first year and a 2 at the end of the second year in order to be eligible.
I think the blame has to ultimately rest with the president of the university. They are really responsible for everything. But if we can be more specific, it would have to rest with the director of athletics.
I think we're seeing rules right now where coaches and athletic directors are beginning to say, wait a minute, let's place some restrictions on the recruiting time frames.
The coach is caught in the middle. He's got an administration that wants to look over its shoulder. He's got booster clubs and everybody else pushing him into a you-gotta-win situation, and he gets blamed for the abuses, where in reality he really wants to do it the right way.
Nobody wants to take responsibility, least of all college presidents. When I went to Oklahoma, the president said that he hoped to build a university the football team could be proud of. By that he meant that he hoped the football team could inspire interest in the rest of the university. Years later I ran into him and asked him if it had worked. Nope, he said. All the football team did was inspire more interest and money for the football team. I remember doing an interview with Shelby Metcalf, the basketball coach at Texas A&M, about recruiting, and he said, 95% of the universities and colleges in these United States do not violate any recruiting standard or any recruiting practice. I said, what about the other 5%? He said, they're nationally ranked.